what are you going to do different, right? If you're in sales and real estate, you hear this a lot, especially if you sell a service. You hear this frequently because, let's be real, the consumer, before knowing anything about you, sees everybody the same. And if they had a previous bad experience, or they're kind of weighing their options, are going to ask that. And again, this question stumps a lot of people because the first mistake is they think they need to answer that logically. Oh, this is what I'm going to do. And then they think they just have to rifle off a list, which is wrong. So I'm joined today again by Alden Lawrence, who is the head of sales here at Team BC University. I'm BC, the leader and CEO and creator of Team BC University. So let's jump right in, man. I'm sure you hear this on a daily basis, right?
All the time, man. All the time.
Now, is this something that used to like puzzle you when you heard this and you're like, man, what do I say?
Oh, I used to list every single feature that our team did, and a big misunderstanding that people have with that, myself included in the past, is that when you list that list of all the things, the Facebook ads that you're going to run, you're going to be bigger on social media, your team's number one, you commoditize yourself immediately. And interesting enough, I read in a sales book one time, that is actually going to cause you many more objections than not giving them the answer.
Yep. 100%. Because when you receive that question, right? Even if you don't receive that question, people have a criterion for what they're looking for. And in many cases, this is the key, is that's flawed. The consumer is flawed in how they view these things. So if you're giving these lists and these items and these things that you think are big and juicy and great, well, if it doesn't fall under the criterion, you lost. But number two, we find, right? And when you talk to a lot of people, you figure this out. People are not looking for reasons to buy. They're looking for reasons not to buy, not to meet with you, not to talk to you. So before I move forward, you would wholeheartedly agree with that point, right, Alden? Or am I wrong?
Oh, 1,000%, man, 1,000%. And if you speak wrong, they're gonna cut you off and hang up.
Yeah,
on
like,
on to the next one.
You didn't pronounce my name right, Alden, so I'm not going to work with you because I don't like you. You know, like, it could be the littlest thing. Or you brought up Facebook ads, Alden. We don't even use Facebook, so no thanks, right? Like, you never know. So again, by us answering, you're putting yourself in the wrong position, and you're potentially empowering their misinformed decision-making process. So there's a lot you can say, and we can jump right into it. Like, I'll give a couple lines. One of the go-to lines that I go to, that I use frequently when it comes to this, especially if they're a little bit more serious with it, like they're really like, what's your answer, right? Prove it to me, sell me, right? I say, great question, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller. Now, whatever I told you now, would you even believe me? And just like he laughed and I laughed, 9 out of 10 times I get a little chuckle, even if they're trying to be serious, because most of the time, like, well, yeah, I probably wouldn't believe you because you're just like every other agent. I'm like, exactly, right? Now, once that's out on the table, is an opportunity for me to get the control of the conversation again and move it forward. So basically what I'm hearing, Alden, is you're looking for a way to cut through the fluff. You only want to talk to somebody who can actually get the job done, right? I reframed it. Boom, we're moving forward, right? Now, I know I'm giving you a lot here real quick, but that's one of the go-to lines that even if you don't have an understanding of why that works and why I said what was next after that works, it's very effective, right? Is that something you've used before, Alden? I know you've kind of learned it from me, and we've talked a lot about it, but is that or some other lines out there that you're using that you find to be very effective when it comes to hearing this objection?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've definitely used that a bunch of times, and you get the same response. Well, you get chuckles, right? And then the point that's really important to understand is, like you said, the customer is asking you a question based on a lot of times false criteria of information. They don't even know what they need. And so it's important for us as the salespeople to remain in control of the conversation and ask the questions that we want. And that reframe that you asked immediately after was a great question. You're looking for somebody to cut through the fluff, and that's somebody that's going to actually get the job done this time, correct? Well, let's do this. Since you said that, boom, set the appointment. These objections, obviously you need a certain level of information to set the appointment. It's important to get motivations and things like that. But all of these objections are great opportunities once you handle them properly to demonstrate value and then go for the appointment.
What are some other things you say if you hear that, or like, how do you take the conversation?
Yep, I usually go straight to the point, and I say, well, I'm actually going to get your property sold, which is exactly what you want, correct?
Yeah, well, that's what everybody says.
Exactly. Well, the last realtor told me the same thing, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get it, man. Well, I've actually sold 12 properties this year alone for people that are in the same exact situation that you're in, and I've done it for them successfully. If I'm able to do it for them, is it safe to say I could do it for you too?
Great line. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you've done it before, right? Can you show me
Exactly.
that, Alden? Can you prove it?
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. Let's do this. Let's get together, take a look at the information, see what it would actually take to get you to Michigan so you can actually be there. But not only get to Michigan, but be there with your family. How does that sound?
Yeah. And see, what I like about what you're doing is that's when you need to really step up and up the level of certainty and like conviction when you speak. Because when it's time to get people off the fence and get them to decide, because they know deep down inside, if they want to move forward, they're going to have to meet with another agent and go through the process again. I don't care what they say. In their heart of hearts, we know it and they know it, that they're going to have to do it. This is where you guys need to be a lot more, not overly aggressive or obnoxious, but just assertive, right? Because even if they say, well, we're going to meet with another agent, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through that, right? Now, do you want to pull off the Band-Aid slowly and draw out this pain and prolong it? Or would you rather just rip it off and get it done? Because either way, it's going to hurt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can promise you I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get together. It's not going to take 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, unless you have a lot of questions. Are you available today or tomorrow? Because I know time is of the essence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Now that requires time, practice, skill work, and all the stuff, which you can't get on a 5 or 10-minute episode, but you need to effectively reframe, use something to take them away from that so we don't fall prey to their frame and their decision-making process, and then move the conversation forward, basically, right?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's really just handling it, getting straight to the point, satisfying the question in their mind. And people don't care about how you do it. They care about the results that you get them. That's why there's no reason to list the Facebook ads and that you're going to, go door knock every house. It does none of that matters. They want to know that you're going to be able to get the job done, and that's it, period.
Yeah. And I would say, Mr. Seller, if you do want to tickle that fancy prior to us meeting tomorrow at 5, I'm going to be sending you what I call a pre-listing package. Have you ever gotten one of those? Well, no, I'm not sure. Well, in there, if you want some of those minutia marketing detail, it's going to be in there. Review it. That way, when I'm there, if you have any questions, you want me to expand upon anything, we can do it then. Fair? There you go. Now, on their own time, they can read through their pre-listing package and do all that. Because when you do that at the meeting, let me walk you through the 100 points here, Alden. It's not going to work. They're just going to tune out, right?
100%. And even to your point, another great response to what are you going to do differently? That's exactly what I'm going to share with you at the meeting.
Yep.
When are you available? That's exactly, we're going to go over exactly what I do step by step to make sure you get a different result and a better result this time. Yep. When are you available, today or tomorrow? Would tomorrow be better?
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. So anything else you want to add, or are we on to the next?
On to the next, man. It's a fairly simple objection that people overcomplicate, but yeah, it's just it's really not that tough to handle. And if you do it correctly, you will start getting more appointments off of it.
Cool. All right. Appreciate you coming on, bro. If you guys want to utilize any of the resources that we have, they will be in the description below. All right. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.